Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McKola. Manchester United lost yesterday against Crystal Palace. I didn't need to tell you that. I know you've been feeling it. I've been feeling it as well. I have been down in the dumps. Manchester United have lost back-to-back Premier League home games. Manchester United have lost 4 out of 7 league games so far. And look, coming into the season, we weren't expected to win the league or anything like that. But God, we were expected to do a lot better than what was going on right now. And we expected positivity, the continuation of Erik ten Hag building something at Manchester United. And we failed to see that. We're going to have a look at some of Erik ten Hag's quotes from the game after the match yesterday and everything else that's firing around at the moment. Also, I'm just going to have a little bit of a vent. I don't even know what I'm going to say. I haven't got any notes. I've got a few quotes from the manager and things like that, the latest news. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I am going to vent, and maybe this could be like therapy. You're my Jennifer Malfi. I'm Tony Soprano. So we'll get stuck into that. Make sure you're subscribing to Stretford Paddock by hitting that subscribe button, like, comment, share, etc. as well. Have you heard about our show coming up in December? 28th of December, we've got a show in Ireland with a certified Manchester United legend. Cannot wait to be out there in Dublin for that show, and you can get tickets for that to be there as well. Right then, let's get stuck into the latest news. As saying, Manchester United lost 1-0 against Crystal Palace. Now, after victories over Burnley and Crystal Palace in the league, albeit, a Crystal Palace C team, it felt like, nothing was perfect. There were still issues there. We're still waiting on some players to come back from injury and whatever else. But it felt like, right, let's get a run going. We've got a run of home games now. Let's see what we can do. But immediately, we're pegged back. It's 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. And Erik ten Hag was speaking after the game. And he was asked about Marcus Rashford's performance. And he said, I think he knows he can do better than he does now. He works hard, and that is what he's doing. He will net, he will finish, and it will come. But it's not going to be automatic. He has to invest a lot. The team has to invest a lot around him today. Today we were in the right positions, but the decision making was not good enough, and then we don't score. When he was speaking about the decision making of the team, not that of just Marcus Rashford, he said, I think I can't blame the players with they didn't run. They gave everything, but in the final part, in both boxes, we didn't do well. We only conceded 3 chances, and they were from set plays. So that tells me we were in control. We were often in the right position in the final part, but we didn't make the right decisions on and off the ball. And that is very disappointing. And I do think that holds some merit. Look, I think we obviously had a lot of the possession in the game against Crystal Palace. Should have created a lot more with it. And there were various moments, both in the first half and the second half, where you think the right, decision to pass or shoot, and Manchester United are in a much better position. We had a few moments where the ball just trickles across the box and you're thinking if someone's coming in on the back post or if someone can stick a leg out, it's a goal for Manchester United. You then obviously had a decision that should have resulted in a penalty for Manchester United. But you can't get wound up at referees when Manchester United ain't even doing the basics. You know what I mean? And what we get a penalty and it's a 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace instead of total embarrassment of losing. It's still dropped points at the end of the day and it still would have been an issue. Manchester United's performances haven't been good enough. Marcus Rashford included in that. I don't think he's been good enough so far this season. And he needs to get out of this funk. Maybe dropping him could be the right thing to do. But then you look at the options that you've got to come in. Jadon Sancho's not available for whatever reason. Garnacho's a great option. And I think he's a huge talent at Manchester United. And, he's going to become a class player. But there are question marks, especially depending on the opponent, about whether he's better starting or coming off the bench. Same with Facundo Pellistri. I thought he shouldn't have started that game. In my predicted team before the match, I had Bruno in that right position and I played Hannibal in the midfield. I thought, dominating that midfield a little bit more would have led to us creating more opportunities. Rasmus Højlund, I think we created 1 opportunity for him. 2 not much. Rashford one that he put him through in the first half. That's the first one that springs to mind. Can't remember much else apart from, a few things flashing across the box. We've got to do better as a team at creating chances. And in the first half, I thought only Diogo Dalot and Mason Mount played with the right spirit, right enthusiasm. Seems to be some sort of funk, something wrong there at the moment. And I don't know what it is. Everyone knows I'm full support of Erik ten Hag. I really want him to succeed at Manchester United, and I think he's the man to succeed at Man. I'm not saying he hasn't made his mistakes, he clearly has. But when you see performances like this, you do start to worry, because what the hell's going on? Do you know what I mean? Like, what the hell is going on? And I know, look, we've got issues. If you can play even Reguilon, who was our emergency fullback's injured, if you could play Reguilon at fullback, Amrabat in midfield, some things begin to change and maybe, look a little bit different. But those are excuses that aren't good enough. We had the players out there to do more. And there seems to just be something wrong with Manchester United at this moment in time. And from back to front, they have to look at themselves in the dressing room as well, the manager. What's going on? You know what I mean? And as for Manchester United, we can't be affording to just, it's another manager not working and that. Like, we've got the Glazers who don't give a shit about what's going on. The best thing about this club at the moment is Erik ten Hag. But he comes from a place where, he was successful out of Ajax because of the structure there. Everything about that club was running correctly at that point. I know there's things going wrong there at the moment. But you look at Manchester United, it's like when Graham Potter got pulled out of Brighton, gets shoved into Chelsea. Look at him. Because the structure weren't there. Like at Brighton, everything was perfect for him. And you feel like we've got to get the things in place around Erik ten Hag. And he's got to get a grip of this dressing room as well. He really has. And I think the only way he does that is by the club standing by him and, going, well, we back the decisions like the Jadon Sancho one. We back those decisions and we'll stand by him. Because if you start giving in to a few moans and stuff from the players, then we're just going to be back to square one, and then we're going to be at this point again in a couple of years. Like, so frustrating, man. So frustrating. But as much as you feel like a season's done and dusted in the league season, look, so far off the pace right now, it's ridiculous. No point even thinking about fourth or whatever. But like, there's still lots to play for. There's still 3 cup competitions. Fucking switch it on. Galatasaray on Tuesday night at Old Trafford, Champions League game, under the floodlights. How long's it been? If you want to turn up and perform like that, it's embarrassing. After how long they've fought for this Champions League football and that. I don't know what's going on, but all I do know is I'm firmly behind Erik ten Hag. Even if he has made his mistakes, I think ultimately it's the only thing that's fucking any good in his club at the moment. Anyway, that's not the language for a Sunday afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're keeping it locked. I enjoyed that venting a little bit. We'll be back with much more throughout the week. As I said, we're at the game, Galatasaray match, and we got plenty coming up throughout the week with myself and the lads included. Until then, I've been Adam McKola. This has been Stretford Paddock. I'm out of here.